A massive moisture feed is currently surging from Panama through the heart of the Caribbean, and it is on a direct collision course with a developing system in the southern United States. What we are witnessing on this first day of January 2026 is a weather pattern that will redefine the next 90 days for millions of families across our great nation and our neighbors in the islands. Within the next 12 minutes and 40 seconds, I will reveal the exact date when this winter dry spell breaks and transforms into a high-risk flood season. We have a lot to cover, from the fire threats in Florida to the rising mud volcanoes in Trinidad. Please, stay focused, stay prepared, and let us approach this day with a spirit of readiness and a heart full of prayer. The immediate concern is the orange shading you see on your satellite imagery. That represents a pocket of bone-dry air sweeping in, but do not let it deceive you. Beneath it, a powerful moisture feed is pumping water vapor directly from the Pacific side of Panama, stretching like a bridge across Jamaica, through Haiti, and into the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. If you are in the Dominican Republic today, you must be on high alert for flash flooding. We are looking at rainfall totals that could easily exceed 3 to 4 inches in a very short window. This is not a gentle rain. This is a tropical surge that can turn dry ravines into rushing rivers within minutes. As we move through the day, that rain will intensify. By the time we reach the weekend, the focus shifts. A secondary system is currently building over the southern United States. This is a significant development. It will draw even more moisture north, increasing the rain chances for Florida and the Bahamas. If you have travel plans or outdoor activities scheduled for Saturday and Sunday in the Caribbean, particularly near Jamaica or the Cayman Islands, you need to understand that the atmosphere is priming itself for a major event. We are looking at a bump in rain probability from 40% up to 60 or 70% by Sunday night. Let us look long-term, because your ability to plan for your family depends on understanding the next 3 months. For the month of January, we are tracking a dangerous trend of above-average temperatures. In Jamaica, Belize, Mexico, and especially throughout Florida, temperatures are expected to run several degrees above the seasonal norm. While some may enjoy the warmth, this heat is a catalyst. It dries out the brush and increases the fuel for potential fires in the northern Caribbean and the southern United States. The only region seeing a reprieve from this heat will be parts of Guyana, Suriname, and Venezuela, where below-average temperatures will hold firm. But for the rest of us, the heat is the primary story for January. Regarding rainfall this month, we are seeing a divided map. If you are in Cuba, the Bahamas, or Florida, January will likely be drier than average. However, the Dominican Republic, down through Trinidad and into South America, will experience above-average precipitation. This means while one neighbor is worrying about drought, the other may be dealing with mudslides. We must look out for one another as brothers and sisters. If you have family in the southern islands, check on their drainage systems now. As we move into February, the heat intensifies. The orange shading on our models deepens. This signifies that the warmth will not be a passing phase. It is an established pattern. Much of the Caribbean, the Gulf Coast, and the Bahamas will remain well above average in temperature. This is where we see the moisture really beginning to build. While the northern sections like the Yucatan Peninsula and Florida stay dry, we see a massive surge of moisture for Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, and the Windward Islands, including Dominica, St. Lucia, and Barbados. February is shaping up to be a month of extremes, with extreme heat in the north and persistent, heavy moisture in the south. Now, I promise to tell you when the pattern shifts. Mark your calendars for the middle of March. As we finish the winter season and transition into spring, the above-average rain that has been bottled up in the southern Caribbean will begin to spread north. This will result in a much wetter end to winter and a potentially volatile spring. For those in Florida and the Bahamas, this will finally bring relief to the fire threat, but it comes with the risk of severe thunderstorms. We are looking at a warm and wet pattern that could lead to an early and active start to the tropical season as we move toward June. Let us look closer at the next 48 hours. By Friday, the tail end of a front will be draped across the Dominican Republic and Haiti. If you are in these areas, please secure your property. High-terrain areas are particularly vulnerable to landslides when this much moisture is introduced so quickly. By Saturday, that moisture reaches Jamaica and the southern Bahamas. We are watching a low-pressure system develop near the Carolinas and Georgia. This system is a powerhouse. It is pulling moisture from the tropics and mixing it with cooler air from the north. This will bring not just rain to Florida, but even the potential for some late-season snow in parts of southern Virginia and the Atlantic regions of Canada. For our friends at sea, the Gulf of Mexico will remain relatively calm for the next 24 hours, but the Atlantic waters near Bermuda are a different story. We are expecting wave heights to reach between 6 and 11 feet. If you are operating a small vessel, please stay in port. The Caribbean will see a moderate chop, but as the weekend system drops into the southern United States, the northern Gulf will see elevated seas. Safety must be your first priority. Regarding the specific rain totals we are forecasting over the next 3 days, the Dominican Republic remains the bullseye. We are expecting between 75 and 100 millimeters of rain, which is 3 to 4 inches. Jamaica will see spotty showers at first, but those totals will climb as we head into Sunday. In the eastern sections of Cuba and the Turks and Caicos, expect the rain to arrive late Sunday and linger into Monday. For the Lesser Antilles, from St. Kitts and Nevis down to Grenada, the rain will be more hit or miss. We are looking at a 20 to 30% chance of showers. Trinidad and Tobago, you may see a bit more moisture, especially as we track the activity near Guyana and Suriname. In Central America, specifically near the Bay Islands and Honduras, we are monitoring a localized moisture plume that could dump over 2 inches of rain. This is a lot of water for a short period. I want to take a moment to address the concerns many of you have shared regarding the mud volcano in Trinidad. Geological activity can often be influenced by rapid changes in ground saturation. With the above-average rainfall we are forecasting for the southern Caribbean, the weight of the water and the saturation of the soil can create added pressure. If you live near these geological features, stay vigilant. Have an emergency bag packed. Ensure your family has a meeting point. We do not say this to cause fear, but to empower you with the knowledge to stay safe. In times like these, when the weather seems unpredictable and the maps turn deep shades of red and blue, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, but we remember that we are never alone. We are a community bound together by faith and a shared responsibility to protect our homes and our neighbors. We pray for the families in the Dominican Republic facing the rising waters today. We pray for the farmers in Florida waiting for the rain to break the dry spell. We trust that God provides the wisdom to prepare and the strength to endure. Looking at the United States specifically, the system building this weekend will be a major story for the East Coast. Cities like Orlando, Miami, and Tampa will see rain chances jump to 60% by late Saturday. While it has been dry, the sudden arrival of this rain can create slick roads and localized street flooding. If you are driving on the Interstate 4 corridor or down the Florida Turnpike on Saturday night, please slow down. In Houston and along the Texas coast, the pattern remains largely dry for now, but do not become complacent. The moisture feed we are seeing in the Caribbean is a signal of how the atmosphere is shifting. As we look toward the finish of this winter, remember that the warmth we are seeing now is setting the stage for the months to come. Above-average sea surface temperatures are already being noted. This is a critical piece of the puzzle for the upcoming hurricane season. We will be monitoring these trends every single day. For those in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, your rain chances will stay around 20 to 30% for the next few days, but that will increase as the tail end of the front sweeps through on Monday. It will not be a significant cool down, as we expect temperatures to remain in the mid to upper 80s Fahrenheit. In Belize and Mexico, particularly near Cancun and Cozumel, you are in a dry pocket for now. This is good for tourism, but bad for the local water tables. Be mindful of your water usage as we head into the drier weeks of January. I want to remind everyone to check your emergency supplies. Do you have 1 gallon of water per person per day? Do you have a manual can opener? Do you have your medications organized? These small steps are how we honor the lives we have been given. We prepare our homes so that we can be a source of strength for others who may not be as ready. We also need to talk about the unusual seismic activity that often coincides with these large shifting air masses. When we have a massive low-pressure system moving over the ocean, it changes the weight being pressed down on the tectonic plates. While we are not predicting an earthquake, we have seen an uptick in minor tremors near the Puerto Rico Trench and the Leeward Islands. It is always wise to remember the phrase, drop, cover, and hold on. Your safety is a blessing that we should never take for granted. Let us dig deeper into the mid-February transition. We are seeing a signal that a large ridge of high pressure will build over the central United States. This will force the jet stream to dip sharply into the Caribbean. When that cold air meets the record-warm waters of the Caribbean Sea, the energy release will be massive. This is why we are predicting a very wet and stormy February for the southern islands. If you are in Barbados or St. Lucia, your typical dry season might feel more like a rainy season this year. For our viewers in North Carolina and South Carolina, the Saturday system is going to be a heavy rain producer for you. We are looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain across the coastal plains. With the ground already being somewhat saturated from the late December storms, watch for ponding on the roads. For those further inland near the mountains, keep an eye on the freezing line. While this looks like a primarily rain event, a difference of just 2 degrees Fahrenheit could turn your Saturday night into an icy mess. In the Maritimes of Canada and northern New England, you are getting clipped by a system that is pulling moisture all the way from the tropics. This is what we call an atmospheric river of moisture. It can lead to very heavy snowfall totals, potentially 12 to 18 inches in the higher elevations. If you are traveling through Maine or New Brunswick on Friday, please ensure you have an emergency kit in your vehicle, including blankets, a shovel, and extra food. The heat in Florida is something we cannot ignore. We are seeing projected highs in the mid to upper 80s for the next 10 days. For our elderly viewers, please make sure you are staying hydrated. High heat at the beginning of the year can be hard on the body because we are not yet acclimated to it. Check on your neighbors, especially those who may live alone. A quick phone call or a knock on the door is a simple way to show the love of Christ. Regarding the fire threat I mentioned earlier, the combination of above-average temperatures and below-average rainfall in the northern Bahamas and Florida is a recipe for trouble. By mid-January, the brush will be very dry. Please obey all local burn bans. One small spark can lead to a fire that threatens hundreds of homes. Stewardship of our land is a responsibility we all share. As we look toward March, the data shows a significant increase in moisture across the entire Caribbean basin. This is unusual for that time of year. It suggests that the atmosphere is already preparing for a very active summer. We will be watching for any early signs of tropical development as the waters continue to warm. The Lord has given us the tools to watch and wait, and we must use them wisely. I want to speak directly to our brothers and sisters in Guyana and Suriname. You have been dealing with persistent rain and cooler temperatures. This pattern is going to hold for at least another 2 weeks. While it may be discouraging to see so much rain, remember that this water is life for your crops and your communities. We pray for your patience and for the protection of your harvests. In the Gulf of Mexico, we are monitoring the sea surface temperatures very closely. They are currently running 2 to 3 degrees above average. This is the fuel that storms need to grow. While it is quiet now, this extra heat is being stored like a battery. When the first spring systems move through, they will have plenty of energy to work with. I also want to touch on the wave heights once more. For those in the northern Caribbean, specifically north of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, the Atlantic swells will be reaching 6 to 8 feet by Sunday. This will create dangerous rip currents at the beaches. If you are visiting the islands for the new year, please stay out of the water if you see the red flags. Even the strongest swimmers can be overwhelmed by the power of the ocean. As we move through this first month of 2026, let us keep our eyes on the horizon, but our hearts anchored in peace. Weather can be a powerful force, but it is also a reminder of the majesty of creation. We are small, but we are cared for. Tomorrow, I will be bringing you a special report on the long-range hurricane season outlook. We are starting to see some very concerning data points that we need to discuss as a community. It is never too early to start thinking about your season preparations. I want to thank you for your support and for sharing this information with your friends and family. By staying informed, you are helping to keep your communities safe. We don't just report the weather here, we look out for one another. Before we close, I want to leave you with a thought for the day. In the book of Matthew, we are told that even the winds and the sea obey him. No matter how loud the storm or how high the water, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding. Let that peace guide you as you make your plans for the coming days. Check your flashlights, update your weather radio batteries, and make sure your family knows the plan. We will continue to track every cloud and every wave for you. Stay tuned for our next update, where we will dive deeper into the specific timing of the Sunday front and how it will impact Monday morning commutes from Kingston to Miami. We will also have a special report on the shifting winds in the Pacific and what they mean for the drought conditions in California, where higher terrain snow is already causing travel headaches. God bless you, stay safe, and keep looking to the skies with both a watchful eye and a faithful heart. We will see you in the next update. Everything we have discussed today is a reminder that while the world changes, the protection over us remains constant. Take care of each other, be kind to your neighbors, and we will get through whatever weather comes our way together.